so far. Well, they are enjoyable. Hopefully, Bloodborne's like maybe that starting point where we'll boost from there with the PS4 in regards to
Yeah, I'd
exclusive
like to
titles.
see how it reviews.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised we didn't see anything today, honestly. I guess it'll be midnight.
Maybe embargoes.
Could be, probably so. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's not a good sign." And I'm like, "No, it can be a bad sign, but most of the time it's just PER. I mean, it really depends entirely on, the team. Sometimes Sony will let their stuff come out a bit early, and other times not so much. So it really is kind of hit or miss. But everything that I've seen, like all the chatter about it and whatnot, have really been very positive. So I'm very curious to see how it turns out. And I mean, I'm excited because I feel like it's probably going to be one of the PS4's best exclusive titles of the year, if not the best exclusive title of the year. So, I'm looking forward to see what it's all about. If I can get decent at it, decent being the operative word, I will try to do a stream on that, but we'll see. But yeah, I may actually pick up the wrestling game as well. That game sounds like it'd be share playable too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then Bloodborne and Borderlands both should be arriving tomorrow. So yeah, I got quite a bit to play, and then I got Type 0. So I will be very busy for the next couple weeks. I'm glad the release schedule will slow down just a little bit after next week. MLB 15 is next week, and then I think it's you got a little bit of time before Mortal Kombat, and I think that's basically it for a little while until like May. Then you have one game in May, The Witcher, and one game in June with Batman. I that's the only other big releases I know of.
Well, we'll have to see in the next couple of weeks for the drop. Like this week was actually pretty good. I think this is when the JLC, if he was here, he would probably jump in and say, PS4 has no games. So
yeah, it's true. PS4 does have no games. We're seeing that more and more. So, we have some information on that awesome-looking PS4 data bank from Nyko, right here. What's going on with that?
All right. So, according to Amazon, the Neko data bank price will be, as God's price, it'll be $39.99, and we'll start shipping May 31st, 2015. So, the day right before April 1st. So, hopefully it's not April Fool's joke.
No, May 31st.
Yeah, so, sorry. Didn't mean March.
I
meant May
don't think
31st.
it's actually shipping that day, by the way. I think that's a placeholder.
Yeah, but at least there's a price. Now it's going to be at least $39.99. And also for those who don't know, the data bank is if you want to have a 3.5 inch hard drive, normally seen in desktops and whatnot. And it's kind of cheap. They're mostly cheaper than the laptop hard drives, and I believe they go up to 6 gigs. So if you are one of those people who are fully digital and for the PS4, you can actually utilize this to have 6 gigs worth of games if you have that much, or at least you're future-proofing yourself.
Do you mean 6 terabytes?
Yeah, you can have at least about 6 terabytes.
You were saying gigs, but yes, terabytes.
Sorry. Yeah, terabytes.
That would
and then
suck. You could download like a quarter of Killzone.
And then there's also the type pad for the PS4. It will be, let's see,
$34.99.
Yep, it will be $34.99. But would you guys even be considering getting Nyko Data Bank, or would you rather just use the 2.5 drive for your upgrade? Otherwise, would you like the hideous hump, or would you like to not have the hideous hump? And will you guys be getting maybe the type pad in case you guys find that kind of useful?
Go on, Platinum.
I would rather have a hard drive fit nice into the system and not have a big hump on it. I'd rather pay whatever extra money it is and buy a 2.5-inch hard drive. I do see some merit in getting the TypePad though, because I'm probably gonna get Elder Scrolls Online, and I think that might be useful for that.
Well,
I can see that actually being useful in a lot of MMO titles that have like the on-screen text and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that Mike might not be. Are you at least interested, Mike?
In the TypePad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in the TypePad.
You're on 14 a whole lot.
Well, yeah, but I'm playing on PC, and
okay, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
I don't really care about the actual text chat most of the time. And if I really was gonna be playing on PS4, I'd be playing on a keyboard and mouse and all that anyway. But I mean, it might be nice for my thing is though, like I would consider it, but at the same time, the app has been running pretty well. So I mean, you know, I'd be better off just not spending the money and just, you know, grabbing my phone and sending a quick reply. I mean, my phone has predictive text anyway, so, and it's, I mean, like, I'm using SwiftKey because it starts to kind of learn how you type and some things you say. So I mean, like, I can generally type stuff out much quicker on that than I could on other things. It of course becomes a problem when you're doing something that's odd to it, but I mean, that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to SwiftPad or any of the ones like that. You like Flexi or something like that, I know, Ryder. But it's to each their own. But you know, I can type something out on that generally a lot faster than I could on PS4 or on a TypePad or anything like that. So it's something I'd consider. Yeah. So if you'll notice on the screen right now, it says Bahamut and then or Behemoth, and it's reported to be one-eyed, one-horned, and people-eating. So I thought that was very humorous. But yes, but yeah, the actual data bank, no, I don't want that ugly thing on my PS4. I'm sorry. I like Dragon was saying, I'd rather just spend a bit extra money to get a 2.5 drive. And the other thing about, like, if you want to get a 6 terabyte drive, realize two things. One, it is more likely to fail because there's going to be more reads, and two, it is going to be slower because there's going to be more reads and more data it has to go across. So it's kind of a catch-22.
I mean, this could actually be a solution for those who want like an external hard drive, which a lot of people have been hammering for, because the competition kind of allows it. So it could be a solution for those who are really wanting that extra hard drive space. And like for the rest of you guys, like I did a 2.5 like almost immediately when the PS4 came out, because I knew that the hard drive space was going to be a problem eventually. And then I don't know. I think I'll serve a couple people's whatever they need. But I don't know. Would it be better to have an external hard drive kind of like having its tongue kind of out of your PS4, or would the data bank be even uglier?
I honestly think the data bank's uglier because, I mean, you know, if you don't want the if you don't want that going, I mean, you can obviously just unplug it, you know, and move it to the side. But I feel like with the data bank, like, you know, if you decide to take it somewhere, or if you decide to move it, you know, and put it in a bag or something for a little bit, I feel like it'd be very irritating to do with the data bank. I would be kind of worried about that, and, you know, the fact that you're having this uneven surface on it now. Granted, I don't move my PS4 very often, but it's just something, you know, I think about. I try to look at all the angles, so to speak. Ha 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 ha. That's real bad. And Gamer is apparently having issues, so hold on. But what do we got next, Ryder?
What was it? Recently, Sony had replaced the old PlayStation Network status page that mostly only told you if the whole network was online or offline, and that's pretty much it. Recently, kind of who knows why, but Sony introduced a new PSN status page, letting you know the status of all different network features, like your account management, if you can sign in or can create an account, gaming and social, if it's if it's on or off or it's having problems. PlayStation Now, Video Unlimited, PlayStation View, and PlayStation Store. Whether that means you can purchase, download, browse, search, or redeem a voucher. It gives you that okay or bad status if you can actually do it. But what do you guys think of the new page? Do you like how Sony is able to kind of diagnose specific problems as they happen? And some people are saying, and then there's also some people who think that maybe this is signs of Sony improving their network infrastructure or servers. And some are kind of saying maybe because of the recently come out PlayStation View, which we'll be talking about shortly, that's kind of the reason why this whole network page revamp happened. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I took a look at it. I really like how they break things down to the different services. So if you're more interested in one service or the other being down, you can see everything right there. It's nice and consumer friendly. So if they have another oh crap moment where everything's down, people can kind of check it out and see when things come back.
Why would you want to check it out though? I mean, I'd rather just keep trying to hit the servers over and over again.
I don't know about that. I'd rather just casually check it on my phone or something like that and be like, oh, okay, it's still down. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna mess with the PS4. I can go out and live my life or something like that.
Yeah, the cool thing on that, I mean, it is nice to have all that laid out and just, see everything like search, redeem, voucher, all that stuff. So, I mean, I've had a time or two where I'm trying to redeem a voucher and it's like, oh, nope, you can't do it. And, I'm never sure if it's because I'm entering something incorrectly or if it's because something's not working correctly with the service or what exactly. So, it is nice to have that all laid out there. Honestly, probably should have been done before, but
yep.
It is nice to see that they're catching up. And I mean, some people are like, oh yeah, they're improving the service. I'm like, well, they definitely did not unimprove their service, so that's a good thing. I mean, anything is a step in the right direction when it comes to that page, because before it's just like, oh yeah, PSN's not working.
Yeah, it was either up or down.
Yeah, 1 or 0. And that was it. And it is definitely a step in the right direction. And I'm hoping they'll keep on doing that. And it could be semi-related to View. I think it's more, they're branding PlayStation so much. They have PlayStation Now, PlayStation Store, and then they're going to have PlayStation Music shortly. I feel like that's. We don't know about that. We're kind of thinking that's going to happen, but I do see Video Unlimited there. It wouldn't surprise me if they rename it sometime, but yeah, it is nice to see it all laid out there, just so that you can for sure know that that particular service is supposed to be up according to Sony. So let's see here. We got the PlayStation View, the aforementioned PlayStation
just roll into
View.
that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. What do you have for that, Ryder?
So Sony announced last week that PlayStation View, the cloud-based TV service, is now available in 3 cities, which are Chicago, New York City, and Philadelphia, on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3. As Sony Entertainment Network President Eric Lempel explained, PlayStation View is a new service that combines live and on-demand TV, cloud-based DVR to stream the best TV shows, movies, and sports directly to your console without cable or satellite subscription. The entry package for PlayStation View, and we're about to get to the numbers, people, costs $49.99 per month for the Access package, and includes NBC, Fox, CBS, TNT, TBS, USA, MTV, Animal Planet, BET, FX, Comedy Central, AMC. AMC is actually going to be starting next month, by the way. So
And
they just recently
there's more channels beyond those.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there's a
there's
total
much
of
more than
50
that.
channels, actually.
Yeah, there's like over 50 channels, so it's actually pretty good. If you break it down, it's kind of like $1 per channel.
Yeah.
But if you want to spend a little more money, if you got that cash, there will be extra channels for $59.99 per month, which is their core package, and I believe it includes the Access package along with BTN, the Golf Channel, and regional sports networks, like Yes and the Comcast Sportsnet. You'll also be getting their most top tier one, which hopefully that is their top tier, the $69.99, which is their elite package. It includes Access, the core packages, and 25 lifestyle, music, and family channels. So if you guys did check out the PlayStation blog in regards to this, does the lineup channels interest you guys? Some are kind of questioning with ABC missing. What channels would you guys like on the service? And which package kind of grabs your attention in being the most interesting, or at least more likely you would pick up if you're interested in PlayStation View? Is pricing okay, or is it bad? Thoughts?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they offer anything that would make somebody want to switch from cable to this, though. Because isn't a basic cable package like $50?
Right around, probably cheaper,
Yeah.
actually. If you're, well, you say basic cable,
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're meaning more than just the standard, local channels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
local channels.
I mean, I
probably
cut the cord a long time ago, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't follow as much either. They try to get you in with all these weird bundles and stuff like that, so it's really hard to say.
But I mean, if
Yep.
this is such a new thing to get people to sign up for this, why don't they start in at a lower, more competitive price point?
Yeah. I'm thinking
I
that's
know
because
they probably made a lot of TV deals and they probably got to pay for all
Yeah.
that stuff, but I don't really see what makes somebody want to switch to this.
I think when someone try to break it down and they say, usually it's like what you said and what Mike says, where at first the cable companies, they try and lowball as low as possible to get you in there for at least the first year or two by saying, well, it only costs $20 for probably, I think it's either the same amount of channels or more channels, and then they start tagging on other things like DVR and their hidden fees. They have there's like a $10 to $15 hidden fee that not many people even consider until they start looking at their bill and saying what the heck is going on. And there's the DVR charge. I think it's like $20, $30 to get DVR in your house.
Depends
Additional
entirely.
on top of your on top of your original bill. And so by the time your agreement or whatever, you're now paying about $75 to maybe even $130. And so some people like I'm gonna put a shout out. Winscar Shinobi, he said that he spends about $120 for his, and it doesn't include internet. That's just his cable, and all the channels that he likes are actually on view, and the only ones that are missing he could possibly just that are kind of on Hulu. So that means he said he could get the core package, which is the $50 one, and then get Hulu, and so he's paying $60, and he's pretty much cutting his bill in half that he's paying right now.
I was
Okay,
thinking
I
he
can
was
see that being a positive.
I was
And
thinking he was saying it was because I was in the party chat too. I think I was thinking he was saying it's $120 or $130 with the internet.
$130.
With the internet, and then like he could get an internet package starting at like $30, and then use this. So he, I mean, not quite half, but I mean, he's still cutting.
It's a lot cheaper than what he's paying right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd really have to look at the entire channel light up more extensively. I'm kind of, the DVR stuff is a little odd. I'd have to, I think they said you get everything from a channel for the past 3 days, unless you favorite it, in which case you get it for like 28 days.
Yep, that's right.
And, so I kind of like that. And so I'd really have to, I'd have to try it for a week and just see, honestly. But I'd have to see, what channel, I'd have to take a closer look at the entire channel list, and see what starts out with that basic package. Just looking at what we're talking about, because I BTN, Golf Channel. I mean, Golf Channel, I might watch every now and then for the tip shows or something like that. But then you're talking about the regional sports networks. I'm guessing that would be just the CSS channel that's here. I don't know that that'd be that many channels overall, for that extra $10. So I'd have to get a better idea, because they've just said 25 lifestyle, music, and family channels. I'd have to get a better idea what those channels were before I even consider jumping to the 69. I feel like the 59 is kind of I don't know. I don't feel like it's worth it unless you're going to jump to 69. Or just stick with the basic package, one of the two. But, and if you're still needing cable, then that's definitely something to consider. I honestly don't know what I'll end up doing, because I have been using Sling, and it's pretty good. It just depends it really depends right now on what channels you're really looking for. Like, if you get everything you want on Sling, then it's going to be really hard to convince you to go with this.
Go to the View. Yeah. Because that one starts out around $20, and then certain people, well, I think CNET did a comparison, and they said that for $20 you're getting less channels, and you're not getting a DVR function.
It's weird. Yeah, you don't get a DVR function at all. Certain channels you can go back 3 days. And certain channels you can restart the current program. But yeah, it's really weird. Like, and the channels that you'd really want it on, like ESPN, you can't rewind. TBS, you can't rewind. Or pause or anything. I think you can. Well, I don't even know if you can pause. So that's definitely an annoyance. And but it's up to Sling users as to where that would be a $30 a month annoyance or not, or $20, $29, whatever.
Yeah, I think it seems cool and everything, but I don't know. I've been using Netflix way too long, and I'm way too cheap to be paying this much for live TV anymore.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, it's really.
I've been saying for years, I wish somebody would do a service where you'd pay like $2 per channel or something like that, and say I just want like 5 channels.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting, and I actually kind of think that's what they're pushing toward. And this is actually coming fairly close to that. You're paying like $1 a channel, but of course you're getting a bunch of channels you probably don't really care about.
Yeah,
right. I wish it was more a la carte.
Yeah.
And some people had an idea that it was going to be like $10 per package. So.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's what we were talking about back when they first announced it, and we were talking about it. We're like, it's going to entirely depend on the price. I mean, what are they really aiming for, and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, just like MTV. I care nothing about MTV. It's a wasted channel. As far as I know, a lot of people are that way now. Like, MTV used to be awesome, and then like they changed it so that all the music videos that were supposed to be on MTV were on MTV2, and now who knows what channel they're on. So, it's,
as a 30-year-old, that makes me sad.
Yeah,
I miss MTV the way it used to be.
Yeah, I know. But I like beyond that. I mean, like CBS, TNT, TBS, USA, NBC, Fox. Sure, good.
I mean,
some of those are local, though, of course.
It's pretty great that AMC is even bothering the PlayStation View, because AMC was like a stickler when it comes to cable and satellite. They're like, well, we're not going to be part of your service anymore. And
well, they're on.
I don't know. AMC
Sling.
Was all picky.
They're on Sling by default. Like they're in the main package.
No, I'm just saying, like, for cable companies. So it was really hard to get. You had to be very picky if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, if you're a fan of like certain shows that were on the AMC. I don't know any other ones offhand, but like I know when I was with DirecTV, you couldn't have. AMC was about to jump ship, and I'm pretty sure it's gone now. But they're already having problems negotiating a deal with DirecTV, and so it's pretty good that it's on there. And of course, like you said, Sling's there. But
to be fair, I hear a lot of a lot of channels having problems with Dish or DirecTV, either one. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good option for those who are paying a high price right now. And like,
yes.
If this gives them the channels they want, then this might actually be a cheaper alternative for them.
Yeah, I would think this would be something more akin to like, well, I was gonna say younger kids, but like you're kind of missing the Disney Channel there, and that would be something that people would probably want.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering where the ABC network is at, which is what you said. ABC pretty much is ABC, Disney, anything Disney related is
ESPN.
associated with. Yep.
Yeah.
ESPN. Yeah.
And
So-
I mean, that is. I do hope they can figure something out there to get. All
I mean,
that
once
in.
they get them on there, then that's gonna be interesting.
Yes. Because that's, to me, that's really the piece that's missing from all this.
Yep.
Granted, if you're really interested in all the other channels, like FX, Comedy Central, stuff like that, then, that's definitely something to consider. But, yeah, well, I'll be very, very interested to see how the early numbers look. Something that is kind of nice about it, though, it is one of those services where you buy a month and you can do whatever, and then you can not buy it anymore if you don't want to.
There's no contract.
Yeah. So that's nice. And I mean, if you if you have this cool show that's coming on a channel and you want to go ahead and get a live TV package for a couple of months, you've got it, and you can go on and use it, and then you can be done with it and call it good. So I don't know. I think the service has potential when I really look at it all.
I'm wondering if that's why it costs so much, because they're like, well, if we charge this high and, someone leaves the following month after saying, oh, this ain't for me, then they still got that money that's coming in for it.
No, it's the number of channels, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Sling is month to month as well, but Sling has a much smaller collection of channels, especially with the core package. So,
But
go ahead.
But what do you guys think about the pricing? A lot of people on our community forum, they're saying that they think it should have been 30, 40, and 50. But what do you guys think of the pricing?
Like I was saying earlier, I really have to look closely at the channel list and just see how many channels I'd actually watch. It's kind of hard for me to say because I don't think I've actually seen a full list lineup. I'm gonna look for that while Dragon answers there.
Yeah, I would say I would be more compelled to sign up, at least to check it out, if it was more around a $30 introductory price point, something like that. But I'm in the cord cutter crowd, so Netflix,
yeah, I'm the same
all
way.
Yeah, we all three are, dude.
Yep. I only pay for Hulu and Netflix. That's it.
And I actually think I'm gonna cancel Hulu at this rate, but we'll see.
I think that gamer's the only one who's not a cable cutter.
That gamer has returned.
Yeah, there's just so many good original shows on Netflix lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What about you, that gamer? What do you think about all that?
I think if it was a bit cheaper, I would probably jump on it as well. Because right now I have cable, so that's pretty much what's holding me back.
Yeah, join the cable cutter cloud.
I'm just looking at the channel list here. I mean, they have some good stuff. They have sci-fi, TV Land for the older shows. As I was talking about on Sling, I mean, USA Network was something I kind of felt like they were missing. Some Discovery Channel stuff. Looks like they have the FX movie channel, Fox, blah, blah, blah.
The crazy thing, though, is even though they said those 3 cities are the only ones that are doing it right now, like I think, again, name drop, Windscar Shinobi, he said he's nowhere anywhere of these cities. Like, I think he's like 50 miles to like 100 miles away from the actual cities they're mentioning, and he still gets it. Like, he still gets PlayStation View.
He said like 50.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of typical. I would think it would be, but wherever it gets those local channels, whatever they happen to be. So yeah, I would think that would be why.
So, and they have a 7-day trial, so if you want to check it out, you can. You don't have to pay for it. Of course, you got some credit card, but you can check it out. It has a 7-day trial, and if you're anywhere near these cities, or at least in the vicinity of these cities, You can check it out.
Yeah. But it's definitely the nice thing about the DVR functionality is it is cloud based. So I mean, you don't have to have
Yeah,
a
you're not
drive
using a
space
hard
or
drive.
anything like that. That's good.
Yep.
But of course, when you go to play something back, it's it's kind of you're streaming it from the web rather than from your own system. Pluses and minuses to both. And of course, the other looming factor with PlayStation View is the fact that some people are still behind data caps.
Yep. So that's gonna until net neutrality goes all the way through, then it'll
That's
be like
not
that
going
for
to
a
help.
while.
That's not going to help data caps right now. At least not immediately. It may eventually because of competition, but we'll see. So anyway, Evolution Studios. What's going on with them, Reiner?
All right. So after rumblings over the past few weeks of layoffs happening within Evolve Studios, Sony has confirmed to Eurogamer.
Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution.
Evolve
sorry.
is the game.
I know. Evolution Studios. Sony referring to Eurogamer that Driveclub developer Evolution Studios has suffered a number of layoffs. This doesn't mean that the studio is closing down, though. Sony is restructuring Evolution to focus on updating Driveclub as well as the important launch of the Driveclub PlayStation Plus edition. We'll see it when it happens. Which is over 5 months delayed since it originally intended to be released in October of 2014, but due to server issues, it didn't. As for the affected staff members, Sony did add that they will be looking at relocating team members throughout other studios, but unfortunately some redundancies will be necessary, and in those cases they'll be assisting staffs in any way they can. But what do you guys think of the layoffs? Is this a good with a bad news announcement? We are getting the Driveclub PlayStation Plus edition, it seems, finally. But what was the cost? With the company kind of focusing Driveclub as a service instead of a product, what could that entail?
That's what I've been trying to think of, that last question. I mean, the layoff's unfortunate. I'm kind of surprised it took as long as it did, because, I mean, that's actually pretty typical after a game is shipped and all that. You'll have a layoff wave, because, they're kind of gearing back and focusing on the next project or DLC or whatever they're doing. And so you generally don't need the entire team going for that. So I'm kind of surprised they stuck around as long as they did. I expected that sooner or later.
And they were working on that PlayStation Plus edition.
Normal part of a team's life cycle, if they have a game come out and it kind of craps the bed.
Well, even if it does well, I mean, a lot of times, unless they have major DLC plans, like, unless it's like an MMO or something like that, I would say Destiny, but I mean, it's not really taking that much effort to do. I'm half joking. Okay. But I mean, even with the bigger games, even the games that do well, I mean, there's still tends to be some sort of layoffs just because they're ramping down. They're looking for whatever their next project is. That's typical. That's kind of the game. That's just part of the game. Pun intended.
They only like major players in there, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, with some exceptions, obviously. I mean, Rockstar, like, you don't really hear it that often from them, but they're very, they do kind of their own thing. You don't really hear it that often from Naughty Dog either. So it's, unless you're a really, really, really super top tier studio that has multiple projects and all that kind of stuff, they do kind of tend to refocus and kind of whittle down team members after a big release. But the fact of Driveclub as a service, that is very interesting. I've been trying to think through what exactly that's going to entail. To give you an idea, Windows as a service, that's been a big buzzword for a little while now, and they kept saying the next version of Windows is going to be Windows as a service, and what that would basically mean is, you would buy it, but you would be buying like a license of it for like a year or something, kind of like Office 365 if you're familiar. And
Yeah.
you know, you wouldn't have to buy future operating systems because that'd just be part of the updates that you're getting. And so, like, you know, you'd buy a license, you'd use it, and then the next year or whatever, you'd pay for a new license, and then it would, you know, you get all the updates for that. So, like, when they went to Windows 11, you just have Windows 11. You wouldn't have to go out and buy a new operating system or whatever.
Scary.
Yeah, who knows? But that's one of the big things in computing right now. You know, you have the cloud as a service. You have, you know, operating systems as a service, software as a service. You know, and that's where you have software in the cloud that you're accessing remotely. And I mean, you know, there are some major advantages to that. But as for Driveclub, it's really hard for me to say what exactly that's going to be. Like, I really honestly don't know what they're getting at. I would, you know, one thought I had was maybe a more free-to-play-ish model, and then, you know, you add on cars and stuff like that. But it's really hard to tell what exactly they're looking for.
You know, it'd be even weirder if it's like a $5 to $8 a month all access, and it'd be weird if it'd be like a subscription service they're going to be like enticing people with, because then if they say, well, you can access everything in the content as long as you pay like a 6-month like lease or, you know, subscription. And if it was like
they need to have a time frame on it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's $5 or $10 a month, if it's $5, that's like $30 that you're kind of locked into. And then if it's like $10, that's like, if it's a 6-month contract, you're paying like $60 for a title, and then if you renew it, that means you're paying pretty much $120, and it just keeps going on and on. So that's what I thought maybe the service could be, like all you can eat with the Driveclub, as long as you're paying like a 6-month service or a year service.
I don't think there's going to be any kind of contract on it. I think it's going to be month to month if it's anything.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, and it could be like that. I know. I think it's iRacing that it's like that.
Yeah.
You know, with iRacing though, like they go and they laser scan the tracks and all this crazy stuff. I mean, it's super simulator. These are the people that are paying $3,000 for a cockpit, so
Yep.
they can accurately represent, you know, or more, so they can accurately represent what it's like to be inside a car in this. So I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of confused. I'm guessing that's what they're meaning, because that just seems to be the most likely subject. I just don't know that it's a great idea, but we'll see.
Yep.
So, Gravity Rush, Ryder. It's been delayed, right?
Well, this isn't about Gravity Rush 2, but it appears that the original Gravity Rush, which released on PlayStation Vita in 2012, really good game by the way, may be getting the remastered treatment on PS4, following a listing today by the Korean Ratings Board. And given its 12 plus age rating, it specifically calls the game Gravity Rush Remaster, with PS4 listed as the platform. So with the Borderlands Handsome Collection receiving the same pre-announced treatment through a ratings board, how likely is this happening as well? Would you guys buy Gravity Rush Remastered on PS4? And if Vita owners, more so PlayStation Plus members, practically playing or owning the original game already, is there even a market for this game?
I would say yes, because the if I recall, the Vita version was actually PS Plus quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was. You can get that game for free for a while.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I mean, it was live for a while, but even now, like, it was several years ago, and I feel like that was like 2012.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly feel like it's going to be a price point issue. Like, if they're trying to come out with this for like $60, I don't think it's going to do well. If they're aiming for more like $30, then I'm interested.
I don't know.
Actually,
how about
consider
15?
It. 15 would be even
No,
better.
That'd be alright.
I
never
think
actually
Sony's
played
been
it.
lately going for that higher $40 range. So
We'll see. We'll see.
It
I
was
don't
good,
know.
right?
Yeah, it was good. And I didn't actually play a whole lot of it, but I know, I did play a little bit of it. I mean, it was really interesting. Uh, yeah, it really is going to depend on the price point for me. If they're going to go a full $60 game, then I'm going to have to really see some effort to really consider it, honestly. But Gamer, what about you? Have you played the original?
I played the original one, but for me, getting it on the PS4, I doubt I'll get it unless it's 4 plus again.
I don't know if it's gonna be plus again, honestly. I I don't know. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go plus again, at least right off the bat. It's possible
Yeah.
maybe later, but
Or maybe a plus discount.
yeah. Or maybe even like cross buy. That'd be interesting. I don't know how exactly they do it with physical copies of the game, but that could be very interesting.
Are
Well,
they
they-
going to improve upon it some?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like probably 1080p, and it. While it was a great game and everything, it had a little bit of like frame rate issues. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably rock solid that thing to 60. But then they could also factor in all the DLC. Like that game had like I think 3 DLC packs.
Yeah, I seem to recall that as well.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of questionable with the pricing because like I don't see them pricing this at 60, but like $40 as well as while that may be high, we were about to talk in the story a little while about them being very comfortable with that price range. But the most worrying part is the community, our PlayStation community. They're kind of running at this maybe a sign that Sony has kind of lost hope on the Vita platform, and with their kind of exclusive titles now jumping from the Vita, and this is like I believe Tearaway is coming in the summertime frame. Sony maybe is simply trying to recoup kind of costs that should have already been done and whatnot. But are more Vita titles coming to PS4, and what could they be if that were to happen?
Yeah, I see, and that's the thing. Like with Tearaway and now this, it really does make you wonder where they think the Vita is and all that. It's definitely not. Doesn't make you very confident in the Vita going forward. That's for sure.
Yeah, like who knows? Like maybe next month we'll hear that Killzone Mercenary is now going to be coming to PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it doesn't really say much for the handheld if there's no exclusive experiences to it.
Yeah.
If there's going to be this parity between the Vita and the PS4, then what do you need to play games on Vita for? You can just remote play.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I mean, you can't just keep having everything be cross-buy. I mean, it's really cool, but at the same time, I mean, it kind of at some point, you do, I think, want those exclusives. I mean, that's why. That's why I tend to buy a certain system is because of exclusives. So, crossplay is nice, but first up, they can't keep, you're kind of missing on an exclusive to that extent. And then you're also, I don't think you're making as much money. Like, I feel like, you're developing 2 versions and selling it for the price of 1. And, it's great for the consumer, but I don't see it from the business side working out all the time either. So, I don't know. It puts it at Vita in a very weird spot, that's for sure.
Well, with this time gap in between the release of the game originally
Mhm.
and them coming out with it on PS4, it's probably more of a deal of, well, we have this game, how can we milk some more money out of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds more like it.
Yeah, and but I mean, at the same time though, like that to me kind of calls into question the validity of that game even hitting the Vita in general now. Like, I almost wonder if that's been switched to a PS4 project, and this is kind of a testing stage, see how it's going to do, or if that's going to, whatever the next Sony handheld is, if they continue going to the market. I don't know. Like, I feel like this is, with more and more Vita games hitting PS4, I feel like this is something that, I'm really curious to see what exactly that is meaning for the Vita. So, I don't know. I'm really, really not sure. So we're going from one remaster to another. What else is getting remastered, Ryder? Is pro wrestling finally getting its day in the sun?
No. But from what we talked about earlier, Sony has confirmed that God of War 3 Remastered is coming to PlayStation 4. It'll be in 1080p with a target of 60 frames per second. Glad they see target a lot now. In the accompanying press release, Sony states the game will be available July 14th in North America and will cost $39.99. The game also includes all previous DLC costumes and content, photo mode, and then niceties like groundbreaking depth of scale, realistic muscle striations. I don't even know where they're pulling any of this stuff from. But detailed facial expressions and new heightened levels of brutality and gore. I think that's all pulled from the original God 3 description. But
they're saying it needs more brutality and gore?
I'm guessing. But but our community's kind of wondering, with this being at $40, why was this not just a complete saga collection? Like, won't it confuse like 360 owners or those who have never played God of War title, since the game does continue off from the second one? But would you guys even bother grabbing this, since it's just a one-up of a single game?
Who's worried about 360 owners?
Oh,
Sony is.
Me? I was.
God of War. Well, it makes sense to the writer. I mean, it's God of War 3 and then 60. You get it? God of War 360 owners.
No.
I don't know. I just want to see these 1080p muscle striations.
Yeah, I know. Whatever that is.
Whatever those are. So, Gamer, I gotta ask. You thought the main problem with the game was it needed more brutality and gore, correct?
Yep.
They forgot to put boobage.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of wondered when I saw the press release and they started going over that. I'm like, don't tell me they're gonna mention that. But sure enough, they didn't. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. But yeah, I'm passing. I've never been a fan of God of War. I don't find it all that interesting. I feel like everybody's like, oh, Kratos is cool, but I just feel like he's always like, Zeus!
This angry person all the time.
Angry constantly, and like, I just feel like he's like, I feel like he needs to be in like a metal band or something like that, and just, yell all the time or something. I don't know. I mean,
I just think the games are cool looking.
Yeah, and like, I came from 360 as well, and like, I never played any of the God of War titles, and I know what the other ones are, and I played the PSP ones. But like, I personally would love the Saga collection, and even our community, our PlayStation community, like, I think everyone, even like you go on like the Red Dragon on YouTube and a couple others, they're kind of upset that like this is going to be $40 for just one game, and like you can go on Amazon, and it's not a good one to gouge off of, but you can go on Amazon and get like the Saga on PS3. While it's probably not better looking than the PS4 God of War 3 that's going to be coming out. Not faulting that's great already. You can grab that and the PSP titles and the original God of War and 2 remastered, all for like $20 right now. And so you're kind of telling your consumers like, hey, while we do know this is over here for Amazon at like $20 and whatnot, go for this $4 one, because it's going to be 1080p, 60 frames, and we're going to include this photo mode and all these taglines that don't make sense.
I do have a thought as to why. I feel like the first and second games, graphically, they're just nowhere close to the third game, if I recall correctly. So I would venture to guess that it'd be much tougher to get those looking better, than it would be to get the third game looking better. So
yeah,
I imagine that's why. And honestly, I would think that they probably looked at doing a collection, and they're just like, well, I mean, we could do this, but at the same time, I mean, we could focus our efforts on 3 and make a much better looking game or something like that. At least that's what I hope the thought process was. I don't know.
Well,
I would venture to guess that was part of it.
Well, if you go on the PlayStation blog, it's even more confusing because they're saying, well, we're giving people who never played God of War a chance to play it on PS4, like people who are on other platforms, and I'm like, so like for me, I'm going to jump into God of War 3, and I'm hoping that there's like some sort of like beginning interaction saying, how Kratos is now climbing on Gaia now, or whatever her name is, and there's a reason why this is happening, but
No, there's
you have
not.
to play
There's
the other
no story in
games.
God of War. Come on.
Yeah, just shut your brain off. And
Just- I
Just
mean-
shut your brain off.
The story of God of War is Kratos goes around, he kills a bunch of stuff, and he yells. That's I'm sorry, God of War fans. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I don't know. I just never was. I never thought that series was one that was hugely story focused.
nah.
I don't know. I personally, I think I'm on the band where I wouldn't even be interested in this at all. Like, especially with me coming from another platform, I would like to see the whole entire saga. And even though I know it probably would look rough, and bringing it to PS4, it would have been at least something.
We shall
I don't
see.
know. I played 1, 2, and 3 to death.
Yeah, that's
I'd
another
like
thing.
to play Ascension though. I should probably go out and get that for PS3 now that I'm thinking of God of War.
Yep, that's
I
probably
never played that.
Well, it sounded like a lot of people didn't, because I'm kind of surprised they're going back to 3 rather than Ascension, but that's just how
Yeah.
poorly received that game was.
Now I
I
feel
think
bad
it
that I
won't-
skipped it though.
I think the God of War 3 remaster won't be so bad if it were to come, the other titles were to come on PS Now. But still, I think only God of War 3 is on PS Now, actually.
Mhm.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's funny if that's the case. So, we've got another game coming out early, Ryder, right?
Actually, this broke out today. So, while it's not as bad as the previous delay that saw it go from 2014 to June 2nd, 2015, developer Rocksteady Games has announced that Batman Arkham Knight will now release worldwide on June 23rd, 2015 for the PlayStation 4 and other platforms. Game director Stephen Hill explained the delay was because we're a developer that hates to make any compromises, so we are sorry to say that means it is going to be just a little bit longer until you can play the epic conclusion to the Arkham trilogy. And for those who are still patiently waiting for the game, they did provide a new trailer, which you can check out on YouTube or your favorite website. Also, according to reports from both IGN Italy and Video Gamer, a collection of Rocksteady's Batman Arkham games are coming to the PlayStation 4 and the other platform this holiday season. Receiving information from industry sources, the report claims that Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City will be remastered in 1080p and will be bundled together as one disc. There is no mention of Batman Arkham Origins being included, so it appears that the possible collection will only focus on the first 2 games of Rocksteady's Arkham trilogy. Kind of people ignore Origins anyway. So did anyone check out that new trailer? And if so, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of also the delay? And would you guys even bother playing Arkham Asylum and Arkham City again if it were to come to PS4?
Game looks awesome.
Did
I
not
think
check
if
out
they
checked
need
the
the
trailer.
delay,
Really good.
they should take it.
Yep.
Delays
Yeah.
are always okay.
Yeah, to an extent. With Rocksteady, I'm not worried because they've produced 2 amazing Batman games, so I'm not
Yep.
too concerned. With the way what was it we were talking about last week or the week before, the Project Cars. With the way that game kept getting delayed, that one's a little alarming just because they don't have the pedigree. I mean, I know they've been around for a while and they do have. I think they did do Need for Speed. What was the newest one?
Shift.
No.
I think it was either Shift or Pro Street.
No, it was the one that just came out on PS4. I believe.
I
The
don't.
Cops and Robbers.
think-
I think it was Hot Pursuit. Renamed. Anyway, I could have sworn it was them, but I mean, I know it's slightly mad. So, yeah, I mean, they've made some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but, like, I just don't feel like they have quite the pedigree that Rocksteady does when it comes to Batman. So, I don't know. You know, I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm not checking out the trailer. And I'm just not, I don't want to know. I want this all to be completely fresh when I'm playing it. As for wanting to play one of the other games, I would actually totally replay Arkham City if it was hitting before Arkham Knight. But it's not.
This is hitting like a holiday season or saying.
Yeah. I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. And it would be cool to actually see Arkham Origins in there, because I mean it would be nice to get the chance to go play it on a PS4, just because I know some people probably skipped it. But at the same time, I can understand them focusing on Asylum and City, since Origins just is kind of this, you know, side story that kind of is focusing on an earlier Batman and all that stuff, and this is really, you know, kind of the Rocksteady line of games, you know, and the kind of the continuing storyline, while, you know, Origins was just kind of, you know, kind of a spin-off-ish title where you're looking back.
I mean, it's great that now you can complete your collection on PS4, so that means whenever you get Arkham Knight, you also have the other two, which will, of course, like I said, come later, but like then you'll have it for those people who collect their games. You can now have all three inside of your bookshelf or wherever you put them.
Or if for some reason you want a Batman marathon or something like that, then you've got it.
Yeah, you can binge like crazy.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, yeah, like I say, it's cool. I would probably definitely consider replaying Arkham City, but I really wish it was coming out before Arkham Knight, because I would. I mean, it'd be good promotion. Yeah, exactly. I think they missed the boat a little bit on that, because you know, I would totally be playing that up until release of Arkham City up until release, because I mean, there's so much to do in that game. So we have another remaster story, Ryder.
Yeah, this week was a lot of remasters.
We need something for PlayStation 4 and remastered. We need a name for it. I don't know what we're gonna call it. We'll have to work on something. Maybe
like a remaster section 4? Or something for the podcast.
Retro Station 4, or you know, remaster station, something like that.
Yeah. Or port station. We're gonna call the port station.
Yeah, the port station 4. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so what is this remaster we're talking about?
All right, so this one is Crisis. It seems like Crisis 2 Remastered or Crisis Trilogy HD Remastered or whatever is coming to PlayStation 4. NeoGAF user Mad Macum. This was kind of an interesting story because it was recently discovered or caught. This Mad Macum had caught someone live streaming Crisis 2 on their PlayStation 4. And when he asked for an update or more details in the comments during the live stream, the user, Juxus, canceled the live stream immediately. This isn't the first time this has happened, though, because Mac Macum said that a friend seen him live from PlayStation, which is that one app they have on PS4 and your phone if you have it. He says the same bloke streaming Bloodborne last week as well. When asked where he got it, he ended the stream immediately as well. So it's kind of maybe a sign of an upcoming HD remaster for the Crisis series. He did share an image for those who want proof, but take note that none of the Crisis games are on PS Now right now, and you can't stream PlayStation Now titles on Live with PlayStation. So some people are wondering if maybe this was an intentional leak or this was by accident by someone who was testing it. Is this a dev or, like I said, a beta tester testing the game? But how many of you would even buy a Crisis Trilogy remaster if it was running at 1080p, 60 frames per second, max settings on PS4?
I'll pass. No interest in Crisis.
Pass. Oh. I mean, I've tried the games. They're cool, but they're just not. I don't know. There's nothing to write home about anymore. I mean, what they were back on the PC, you know, when the Crisis first came out. I mean, you know, the whole point of the game was to try to see how great your PC was. That was it.
Or see when your graphics card would melt.
Pretty much, yes. And and some people are like, "Oh, well, yeah, but the cool thing was you could do all this stuff, and you could, the point of the game wasn't really going from point A to point B. The point of the game was figuring out how to do it in a cool way and stuff like that." And I mean, if you're super into shooter campaigns, maybe so, but for me, the multiplayer was always my focus, and I just felt the game was lacking a bit.
Yeah. I never played multiplayer. I always played the single player, and like you could approach any circumstance any way you want. It played like a Splinter Cell game, so you could go in guns blazing. You could, but you would lose a whole lot of health unless you knew how to use the powers very well with your suit powers. But for people who love stealth, and I'm one of those people who love stealth, and you could stealth that game like almost from beginning to end for pretty much all their titles, and I really like that personally. But then when it came to like on the PS3 and 360, those consoles were great for their time frame, but they had to lower those settings down to a bullet point, like low settings to even get that thing running decently. And even with that, they had to do a lot of cutbacks or like weird graphical like voodoo to make it even get to actually run decently. So there's some people who are kind of interested, because then this is just like them just saying, well, we're going to take, the PC version, we'll see if we can max it out and make it go 1080p and whatnot. So I'm slightly interested in at least the graphical point of view, but I know others feel a little different.
Yeah. I don't know. At the right, on a bargain or something like that, then maybe. But I'd really have to see how the game actually plays and all that kind of stuff for me to really start looking at it.
I mean, at least if they do a remaster, it'll be better than what Sony's doing with the God of War 3
if it's the entire
remaster.
Collection. If it's just
it'll be a whole entire collection.
Oh, okay. So, we are talking about TXK.
One more thing. Well, we have one more thing about Crytek.
Oh, go ahead.
So, Crytek, the studio behind the Crysis games and the impressive CryEngine, has apparently signed a new licensing deal with a mysterious company that won't be mentioned. I don't know who it is.
Because we don't know.
I don't know what it is either. So, but while talking with Develop at GDC, the PR head, Jens Schaefer, and Crytek co-founder Faruk Gurli talked briefly about the deal. Many people had thought that after Crytek's financial struggles, which we talked about earlier this year, there was like a whole whoa, Crytek went well below. But the company would need to find maybe investors. But apparently, they made a licensing deal instead. Schiffer mentioned that it was a huge one. Instead, more details will hopefully be coming soon, hopefully at E3. But what does this even mean? Does it mean that Crytek's engine is being used exclusively with a big company now? And which company do you guys think maybe Crytek made the deal with?
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, they're so vague that, I mean, I don't really even think this is that much of a story, aside from, oh yeah, hey guys, we got something in place. And it's really not even clear exactly what they did.
I mean, the last deal they did was the Evolve. The people who did Evolve, that was the last Crytek game that I know of that's at least in production. But I don't know of any other Crytek games that are using that engine, the CryEngine. So
yeah, it's kind of hard to speculate.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to speculate. Like, it could be, I don't know, maybe it's the Resistance series. Maybe that one's being like, maybe, I don't know. I'm just pulling straws out of a hat because I don't know. I don't know who they can make a big, if it's like a big,
that's more
big company.
I didn't know you put straws in a hat. That's a new one. But yeah,
okay. Straw man.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's really hard to say because they're just like, oh yeah, we made some kind of deal. We don't know who the company is yet. They paid in cash, so I almost wanted him to say something like, the company that shall not be named.
Well, at least their boat's staying afloat.
Exactly.
Very much.
I'll be very curious to see what game they're talking about. Or what company they're talking about rather. But time will tell, I'm sure. I would guess E3 that we're gonna see something from them, or from the licensing deal.
Yep.
All right. So now we're back to TXK, right?
Yep. So on Twitter, Williamsoft, the people who make TXK, the founder, and Tempest developer Jeff Minter responded to someone on Twitter who asked about a Tempest game. The TXK game for other platforms like PS4. He said that Atari's hostility to Williamsoft ensures that there will likely never be anything more along those lines from any other platform. And Atari has put out a statement saying Atari values and protects its intellectual property and expects others to respect its copyright and trademarks. There is no lawsuit. Atari has been in continuous contact with the developer since the game launched in hopes that the matter may be resolved. But have you guys played TXK? What do you guys think of it? Do you think that due to the subject matter and people involved, that Sony may have to pull the game off the store? And would you guys have liked maybe a PS4 version?
I haven't
What
played
is
it.
TXK?
It's I believe it's a bullet hell type game.
Yeah, it's
It's a shooter.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, if anybody who, I'm 30 years old and I know what Tempest is, but if you played Tempest before and you played TXK, they look very remarkably almost the same. So, and it's made by the same person who did make Tempest originally.
Yeah,
so,
he wrote Tempest. So
yeah,
I looked at that. You're linking Kotaku in our notes here, and I looked at that article, and there's another update, and he's Lemonsoft is saying there really hasn't been any communication beyond lawyers calling us to try to file. Basically, lawyers calling us to try to stop us or something like that.
or strike a deal.
Yeah, strike a deal. And then there's not strike a deal in the good way. Not strike a deal to get a game out. Almost like a cease and desist. But the other thing that I thought was interesting is they were saying he might have used some of the same source code. But does he really need permission to use the source code since he's the one that wrote the source code?
Yeah.
If they own the source code.
Yeah. And that's the key there. No, who knows? It's going to be really, really deep in the contracts, I would imagine.
Some people even joke saying they didn't even know Atari was still alive. I thought they were gone. That company
died. They've been a publisher for a while. They've been very quiet, I do know that. But, they still do some stuff. They still have some Pac-Man stuff, I believe. Or is he Bandai? I keep forgetting he's Bandai Namco now.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
They still do some stuff. It's just not very often. I do remember they had Test Drive, I believe it's Unlimited, and maybe Unbound. It's the last games I really remember from them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even remember any other games recent or even...
They probably still sell T-shirts at Target.
Yeah, they probably do.
That's because Target hasn't restocked since the last time they sent them T-shirts.
Oh.
No, I kid. But yeah, I don't know. I can't get that because they definitely haven't released very many games as of late. But it's a really messy situation, and it looks like fans of that particular type of game from this person are not gonna have much luck. It is kind of unfortunate, but it's all legal, and
So Atari can get this guy by the cojones because he made something that's similar to something that he did before. What about the Mighty Number 9 guy?
It's like I say, it's honestly really it's very gray. Like, it entirely depends on very specific things that we're not going to know about. Like, we don't know, I mean, obviously you've got source code, but I mean, did he actually use the same source code? But at the same time, there's only so many ways you can code things. So, I don't know. Like, the whole thing is very, very odd.
Murky.
Like, it's a bunch of technicalities. It's like there was some big debate about a song sounding like another song, and in court, like, they decided that that was copyright infringement. But if you actually look at the law, it actually has nothing to do with how it sounds, but rather the actual notes.
Are you talking
in
about
the
that
song.
one with Tom Petty?
Something like that. I have no idea. I don't keep up with the popular pop culture stuff. I just don't. I find it all pointless, so I do not keep up with it. But I vaguely remember them talking about this somewhere, and they were saying the law was actually probably applied incorrectly, because if you're really looking at the law, it's talking about music notes itself, not the sound, not anything else. So even though they may sound the same, they're not actually, there's not actually any kind of copyright infringement just due to the way the law is written. So I would have to really, really dig on what the laws are on that stuff, and the contracts and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's going to be a huge legal mess if Atari ever really tries to push it, or if, I guess, Lemonsoft does. So, Mamasoft, I don't know how they're saying their name. But yeah, it is unfortunate for fans of that series, and this developer. So, now the drama topic of the week.
Yep, this is going to be our big topic for tonight.
So, Konami and Kojima.
Fight!
The marriage was going to last forever, wasn't it?
So, earlier last week, some odd things started popping up on Reddit and NeoGAF that suggested Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima had left Konami following the removal of a Hideo Kojima game on all box arts, and the removal of Kojima Productions logos from the Metal Gear website. In a statement sent to Video Gamer, Konami said both them and Kojima will continue to work on Metal Gear products. However, there have been some changes within the company. Just listen to that little part. As Kojima Pro Live Twitter account is no longer the official Metal Gear Solid Twitter account. That distinction now belongs to at Metal Gear _N. Meanwhile, Kojima Productions Los Angeles, who's working on Metal Gear Online, has been renamed to Konami Los Angeles Studio. Not only that, but the Kojima Productions website now redirects to a Metal Gear Solid portal from Konami. So, and also in other news, GameSpot spoke with an anonymous source from within Kojima Productions, where they said that after Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain is finished, Kojima and other senior members of the studio will leave Konami. And he said that after we finish Metal Gear Solid 5, Mr. Kojima and upper management will leave Konami, the source claims, and they said that their contract ends in December, they added. At a team meeting, Mr. Kojima explained the team have to be one and make a good game for the fans. As GameSpot's report continues, there's been a fallout between Kojima Productions and Konami, leading senior staff at the studio, as they have now been restricted from access to corporate internet, emails, and phones. In addition, the report says senior staff at the studio, including Kojima, essentially work as contractors now and not as employees. However, Konami does add that they have decided to create a new Metal Gear title with hiring for the main staff going on right now. This suggests that Kojima Productions won't be behind the new Metal Gear game, and it is possible it could be a spin-off like Metal Gear Rising was. But what are your thoughts on this? Is a simple disagreement becoming a power struggle loss? What would Konami do? Well, I mean, why would Konami do something like this? And the community thinks that this is. What's funny though is the community thinks this is all a publicity stunt, an April Fool's joke, or an announcement for a new game. But how could this be with all this constant bad news?
I don't know. He's done some weird stuff before.
That he has.
Like the interview that was supposedly like all in engine with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
But the difference though, like that, and I understand some people like to hear where he does like very crazy stuff, but like it's never bad things. It's never like stuff taken away. You can't do this.
Yeah,
You're
it's not a good
contractors. You're
sign.
out of here, and like it just makes no sense to be a publicity stunt.
Well, it also is taking a decent bit of work on the back end for their server stuff too. I mean, you know, the redirect and the fact that you know, the Twitter changeover and all that stuff. I mean, it just seems very elaborate to be an April Fool's joke, and maybe it is, but I don't know. I just don't.
It's a really bad one.
Yeah, it's a really bad one. I know it affected their stock prices too, so that's.
Yep, their stock dropped as well the same day.
That's not something that a company would put up with. I mean, you know, and that's, I know for sure they have some sort of awesome move. Like, we have signed Kojima for the rest of his entire life. You know, unless they have that ace in the hole, I don't see that happening. Because I mean, you know, it's a business. They have to keep an eye on their bottom line. Period. So I don't think this elaborate of a ruse would be coming up if and you know, if it is a ruse, then somebody really dropped the ball, because that was not smart with all the, you know, all the stock market implications for them.
And some people are even concerned because normally, if anyone follows Kojima's Twitter account, he tweets like every hour, every other hour, talking about food, movies, what he's doing at work, and he's very elaborate in what he's doing in his everyday life. And then when this news broke out, he made one tweet the whole day, and then you never heard anything for days after. For like, I would think 2 or 3 days after, you saw one other tweet, and you hear nothing else after that. It's just weird, just very odd things are happening within that company, or between Kojima and like Konami. Something's happening that we got details, but like there's no like firm announcement from Konami saying, well, they're contracted now, or you know, there's nothing saying that, but there's too many dots pointing to something bad must have happened.
Yeah, it makes me sad to think of Metal Gear Solid without Kojima.
I think a lot of people were more concerned with the Silent Hills game with what's his name?
Del Toro.
Yeah, Del Toro. Like what's going to happen now with that game? That game is now going to be up in the air. And if Kojima's contracted, he's not part of the company anymore. Then what happens to that game?
I don't know.
You know, and it might be something where they're looking at, and they, you know, they have some sort of contract when, you know, all your current projects are done, then, you know, you're done with the company. I don't know. And it could be that they'll keep him on as some kind of contractor until that's done. It could be that one gets shifted to somebody else. We don't really know. All right, at this point. He's been saying for a while though that he wants to be done with Metal Gear.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he said this for forever. And I mean, he's even been more strongly about Metal Gear Solid 5 being the last one he does. Or at least the last Metal Gear Solid.
At least that's what he's been telling Konami for years. I'm done with these.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility on the other side though, where Konami's like, well, you know, let's you do it again, and they give him money. And he's like, well, I guess that's fine. And then something happened where Bobby's like, I'm done. I want to do something else. And they're like, no, you're our Metal Gear guy. You're going to be making Metal Gear forever. You're never going to be making anything else. Forever. You're never going to do anything else. And he's like, well, then I'm done.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it was, you know, they're talking about another Metal Gear game. I wonder if they're like, hey, so while you're working on Metal Gear Solid 5, we kind of had this idea for Metal Gear Rising 2. Can you start working on that? And he's like, I told you guys, I'm done with Metal Gear after this game. I'm moving on to something else. Snake's too much.
And they're like, no, you're not.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you're not. And he's like, here, take this letter of resignation then. Consider me no longer your employee.
Yeah.
I guess the kind of exciting thing about this is, what does he do in the future at another studio?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. I mean, and it's kind of a catch-22 for him because, like, I'm sure he really likes Metal Gear. I mean, he's obviously very invested in the world with how, how he's had the story go and all that. But at the same time, I mean, he's been shackled to that for, I don't even know.
Forever.
For the past, 15, 16, 17 years, something like that. Because I want
Yeah,
to say
for a
Metal Gear
long
Solid
time.
came out like 97, 98, somewhere around there.
But he even had earlier games in the MSX era. So
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but that's where I'm really looking at because he's done other things since the Metal Gear original games came out.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think he might just finally be tired of the Metal Gear universe, So
Yep.
maybe that's what's going on. He's just like, I can't keep doing this.
Our community made a funny joke where I don't know if they were being serious or being funny about it, but they said, "Well, Sony should sign him up and start making Something Filter games because they're not making those anymore."
That would be interesting.
Make him finish The Last Guardian.
Oh, whoa!
That's it. That's what's happening. It's like, I'm gonna go work on Last Guardian, guys. Peace.
We're gonna finish that thing now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mess, but it seems like a very elaborate, costly ruse if it's really just a ruse, which I kind of don't.
Yeah. Like I say, if you go on the forum and everything, everyone's like, look at the date, when they're saying that there's going to be like a big announcement on March 31st or something like that. I'm like, look at the date, it's the day before, April Fool's Day. I'm like, I don't think that's what's happening here, people. I know you want to grasp on the hope as much as possible that Hideo Kojima's not gone from that company, but that reality might open its door and you're not going to like what's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, just like in PT, right, Ryder?
Yep. That was a good demo.
That might be all you get. Oh. But yeah, that is, I mean, it's definitely unfortunate for Metal Gear games, Metal Gear fans and Silent Hill and all that, but at the same time, like, I feel like he's actually in the perfect spot to kind of, stop with Metal Gear Solid. Because he has, Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 out so far, and I mean, it kind of covers. I don't want to get too deep into what's going on because for people that haven't played it and, are still interested in checking them all out at some point, but I mean, he kind of covers Snake and he covers Big Boss and he's covered the history that's going on with them, You have Metal Gear
I think he's come full circle with the whole entire series now.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what...
This is kind of the uniting piece from what I understand.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have Metal Gear 1 and 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, and then 4 for Snake, and then you have 3 for Big Boss, and 4, and then 5 now. And
the Peace Walkers and all that stuff in between.
And Peace Walker, I have no idea where that fits in.
That one takes place after 3.
Yeah,
3?
and then after that was, even before that, there was Portal Ops, so, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I feel like he's, this is going to kind of lead up to everything we are wondering how it happened. Like, if you...
Yep, how Outer Heaven happened.
Yeah. And, I feel like, after this, he's really not going to have very many directions he can go. At least I would hope.
Metal Gear 1 and 2 remastered.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly,
using the Fox engine.
Yeah,
and muscle striations.
Yep.
Yes. And honestly, like, that would be actually really interesting to play those because just how old they are at this point. It would be very interesting to see Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3 on the Fox engine. But I don't think that's happening. But yeah, major drama. It'd be nice if this is all some kind of weird thing and they get something worked out or whatnot. But I really don't think it's some kind of joke at this point. It's affecting the bottom line way too much for it to be a joke.
Yep.
Because I think they would have been, oh, wait, guys, we were trying to set up a very bad April Fool's joke. It's over. He's not leaving, blah, blah, blah. Once that stock price started dropping, I can guarantee you they're running
like,
to the microphone. And it's like, hey,
boy.
guys, you know all that? That was a very, very bad April Fool's joke, and we are sorry. You can buy our stock again. You're safe. So, yeah, I just feel like they'd be running to the microphone as quickly as they could.
Yep. For those who don't know, when we were talking about stock prices, it was like at 36, and now it's at 18. They dropped by like half. Like as soon as that announcement happened, stocks dropped.
Yeah, and for that dramatic of a decrease, there's no chance. No chance. There's like a 0.1% chance that that's actually a raise. I'll put it that way. I mean, I guess it's technically possible, but I would be very, very surprised if they're like, oh, hey guys, April Fools, blah blah blah. But it's just too much has happened now.
And then the weird thing is, if you look in the reports and everything, with all this restructuring and what's going on, they're saying that they're kind of want to focus on their pachinko machines in the mobile market and free to play. So I don't even know what's going on with Konami and their thinking in general.
A lot of Japanese developers are looking at the mobile market because it's so big over there, especially like I'll be curious to see. I'd be curious to see what they can actually, do. I'm surprised pachinko machines are mentioned in the same breath as mobile market, but they're still big in Japan, I guess.
Yep. I mean, but then it makes you look on the outside, kind of seeing the set within. It's like pretty much Konami's now an outer shell of itself.
Yeah.
Greats like if people even try and look back, the Country team's gone, the Castlevania team's gone. They disbanded these people, and like all their major franchises that Konami's known for. I mean, even with this Kojima Fallout, like there goes Metal Gear. Then what's left? Like you have to think about it. Like what's left? PES, like their soccer game.
Hey, it does pretty well actually.
Yeah, you're right. It does, but like I don't know if you could rest on that game alone from now on.
Definitely not. But yeah, with that, I guess we're done. Unless you guys have something else.
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, say goodbye, everyone, and you guys have a great week. Don't forget to follow us on the Hitbox if you like what you heard, and we will be back next week. I will probably try to stream some Bloodborne or Borderlands or maybe both or something this week. So keep an eye out for that. And you guys have a good one.